And Peterson is here. Hadovich,
Here.
Hamilton,
Here.
and Bristol.
Here.
Let's go public comment. Do we have anything? No? Okay, moving on to approval of agenda.
I make a motion to approve the agenda.
Second.
Second, all right. First vote.
Aye.
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 Number 4 is approval of utility board meeting minutes from June.
Motion to approve.
Second.
Voice vote.
Aye.
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 All right, number 5, financial. Consideration to approve bills payable. Does anybody have any questions about anything that we looked over?
I didn't see anything in there. If anybody else did.
No.
I didn't see nothing.
Standards.
Yep.
Okay,
Motion to approve.
Second.
and voice.
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. Great, and administrator, any department update?
We do have a returning employee in the water department, our water operator, Keegan Long. He is here tonight. We have Nisha Overstreet, who took the city clerk's office clerk position that was open. She was the temp staff that was filling in that we brought in from Robert Half. ISG Engineering will be here at your July 2nd meeting. They're going to give you a presentation on the water tower reconditioning project that's planned for the spring of 25. And they're also going to present a proposal to do a preliminary engineering report on the full water distribution and treatment system. And then at some point here in the future, probably either in July or August, we'll be meeting with Compass, who does some of our energy scheduling services. They've been working on negotiating the contract. So we're working with our attorney, Steve Nadel, and he'll be on the call as well when we meet with them, but we can look for that either late July or early August.
So you say that on July 2nd is when they'll be here to talk to us about the water tower.
Yes, yep.
All right. Let's write that down. All right, so then consideration of resolution 2024-08, E&W setting fiscal year 25 wages and salaries for the Eldridge Electric and Water Utility employees. Does anybody have any questions for me?
Looked like everything, like we talked about last week, was signed off on and no issues with that.
Yeah.
Yes.
And everything still remains in line with the CBA and the additional representation was an agreement.
Yes, yep, we met with the representatives for the union. We came together on an agreement. They signed an MOU, so that will ratify everything that was done in the past with these wage scales. And then it also set it to be effective through at least the next year until we go into negotiations. So what you have on the resolution is the wages that there were some adjustments made to get them in line with where those wage scales were that were adopted, and then the 3.5% that was the July 1st effective cost of living raise that was in the last year of their contract.
Motion to approve.
Second.
And voice vote.
Aye.
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 Right. Then consideration of resolution 2024-09, E&W adopting the 2024 Eldridge Employee Handbook. We look at that.
Did you all receive the copy that I emailed
Yes.
last week?
Yeah.
And then I think that's the same copy that was provided to you when you joined the board.
Right.
The only change that was made was the one that was recently adopted by council, which was just some updates to the communications provision where it had listed personal cell cellular device, it was supposed to be city issued devices, so that was the only update made that was of any substantive changes.
Okay.
So I got a question on that is, there was some discussion that, for the department heads, if we're gonna go with superintendent or if we're gonna go with one utility manager, will that need to be, the chain of command, will that need to be updated again once we decide if we're gonna go with superintendents or just a utility manager?
Yeah, we'll update it, according to whatever you guys decide for that leadership role. And I think, there's an opportunity when we make that update to allow for either of those positions to exist. So that when we make that update, it will fit whatever path you decide to go down in the future. And then if you change that, if you have superintendents for a while and then go with the general manager, we won't have to update the chart, then we'll update it to fit both positions.
Okay.
So we can make that decision at a later date or?
Correct.
And then once, if we approve this, this will be handed out to all the electric, water. Will get signed copies that they did receive these and acknowledgements.
Yes, there's an acknowledgement page on the very last page of the handbook. So once this is approved by the utility board, it's been approved by city council, then we'll distribute it out to the staff and they'll sign an acknowledgement that they've received it.
And then like moving forward, if there's any changes, do you just do a section out of that area or give them the whole new handbook?
Once a year, we'll do a full review with the company that helped create it. And then every 5 years, it'll go to the board and the council for review of any policy changes. And then, of course, as needed in the meantime. But if we're just doing an amendment to one provision, we'll make that amendment, update the handbook, and then just send out
That
the
section?
amended portion.
Move to approve.
Second.
Yes, everybody, okay. All right, voice vote.
I,
Aye.
I,
All right, electric department outages. Were there any?
Colin, you're up.
There were, do you want me to?
yes.
So Colin provided updates on the outages. There was the outage that was reported on the 4th. That was the night of the last utility board meeting. Eldridge Electric Service from Mid-American was down. Mid-American restored the power at 5:45 PM. 2,926 customers were affected with that outage. And then there was a report of half power at 8:05 and 8:09 West Sheridan Drive at 12:30 PM on June 13th. A main service run had gone bad. The temporary line was installed until the damaged line could be fixed or replaced. They had power restored at 2:30 PM. 4 customers were affected.
Anything else with, did we get, when's the closing for the applicants? Journeyman, did we get anything?
We have 2 right now for that journeyman position. We actually just discussed that today. We're going to set some time to bring them in, meet with them, do a small interview, figure out whether those are candidates that would fit well with the team, and then determine from there if we're going to continue to leave that open. Right now, it's just posted as open until filled, and we'll just continue to push out those ads and postings until we find someone who fits that role.
All right, anything else? Water department, consideration to approve replacement of WTP chlorine scale and display unit at a cost of $3,674.60. It's a quote from J&R Supply Incorporated.
And some information from Bryson on that, Dennis, do you,
These will. We still operate a professional relationship with them, so.
okay. Bryson had brought forward this quote. He said the display screen on those readings is starting to fade on what they currently have. And this update will also make sure that this piece of equipment is compatible with SCADA system for future use. So we'll be looking at some upgrades there.
Is this just a
Something.
software update then, or is there a warranty on this?
So
Scale.
the scale and the interface, that's like a physical.
Yeah.
So
And what's the turnaround time on that? If, once this is approved, is this something that has a long lead time?
I don't know what the time is for receiving that piece of equipment. I can find out. I know once it comes in, Bryson had stated that he would be able to install that. There would be, I believe, a member of the team from the vendor that would be there to supervise that. So the installation would happen, by our own staff on site. But I will see what I can find out for, shipping time.
And are we critical now or are we?
it's still,
Okay, it's just getting back on.
right, there's we had updated one prior to a newer scale and a new interface. So I think this is also getting a newer scale and a newer interface. So
Excellent, okay. Is there any updates on the was it high service pump number 4? Was that some previous work or is that complete?
Yes, it's complete. I believe they have both, as well, number 3 and high service number 4, and I believe they're both installed and back online,
Okay,
as of early last week.
I have a question on that. Do we get quotes from, I mean, is it the only vendor that supplies,
For the wells and the pumps.
well, for the base and
those were rebuilt. We did.
Are we talking about the wells and the pumps when they were redone, or the scale?
the scale?
So for the scale, I believe that's the only quote that we have right now. And, like Keegan said, I don't think we're at a point, it's not an urgent, and with the preliminary engineering report that we're gonna be doing, there may be opportunity to find, other pieces of equipment or know what we're looking at in the future, especially with the SCADA upgrade. So I think there's no
You know, just
harm in holding off on that.